Blog Talk Radio.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's the new experience. RealitySpirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. RealitySpirituality. You got a question for RLN? RealitySpirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. RealitySpirituality. Oh, now we get real. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. RealitySpirituality. It's a new experience. RealitySpirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one, man. RealitySpirituality. You got a question for RLN? RealitySpirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. RealitySpirituality. Oh, now we get real. RealitySpirituality. Yeah, it's time to get down. RealitySpirituality. Yeah, you gonna feel good now. Real good. That's what I'm talking about. Time to get real.
Okay, we're having technical difficulties.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
I hope you like that theme song, people, because it was going on and on. I don't know, for the last couple of weeks there's been a lot of technical challenges to start the show, but whatever, we're just rolling right along. Welcome to Reality Spirituality for my new listeners. I'm your host, Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and today's topic is going to be about thoughts, and specifically the negative thoughts, all of the thoughts that make us suffer. And what I've discovered with this, thoughts are so important because, quite frankly, between me and you, it's the only reason why we suffer is our thoughts. But before I get really oh no. Oh, Lord. Hold on a second.
It's a new experience. Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Jeez Louise. Hey, people, I'm back. Reality Spirituality is on the air. Well, thank you for being patient if you're with me, and if you're not, well, then that's okay too. Where the hell was I? Jeez Louise. Okay. Let me, you know what, let me start all the way from the beginning, because what I'm going to do is I guess I'm going to have to go back in and edit the first 5 minutes of the show, because it was a lot of dead air, a lot of theme song, more dead air. But that's what happens. Remember, you cannot control what happens in your life, but you can control your personal vibration. You can control how you feel about what's happening in your life. And quite frankly, I guess I'm so used to these things just happening, and I don't know if this is a, quote, test or lesson, but my dear audience, this is exactly what I'm talking about when I say things happen and you don't have control over what happens, but you definitely have control over how you react to what happens. Back to the show. For my new listeners, and we're getting new listeners every week, let me just briefly state who I am and what this show is about. You're all welcome to call in on the line to speak with me directly is area code 646. Excuse me, 564-9619. Again, area code 646-564-9619. Press the number 1 if you'd like to speak with me live and direct, and we will talk about whatever you want to talk about, whatever challenge you're having, whatever issue you're having, whatever circumstance, whatever you'd like to share. That's what we do on this show. It's a show about real life, real people, and how to go through this journey and how to navigate this journey, experiencing more peace and more contentment and more happiness, quite frankly. And for the new listeners, I want to share who I am. My name is Rebecca Lynn Norrington, and for most of my life, I'm going to have to say most of my life, I was searching, seeking, wanting answers to what? Wanting answers to how to be happy, how to stay happy, how to remain happy, how to connect. I share this story a lot, and when I was younger, I you know how you blow the candles out of your birthday cake on your birthday, and then you make a wish, and I always wished and I always wanted the same 2 things. And number 1, I wanted to live to my potential, whatever that looked like, and number 2, I wanted to be happy. And I found and I discovered that this wanting to be happy, you know, whenever you ask a question out into the universe, whenever you ask a question, you always get a response. You always get an answer. Maybe not the answer that you thought, or maybe not the answer that you wanted to hear, but you are always answered. Your questions are always answered. And so, like most of us, I thought this happiness was going to come from what I did, what my job, my accomplishments, how many people, listen to this one, how many people I helped change, how many people I helped, how many people I reached out to, how many people I touched. I also thought it was going to come from relationships, or where I lived, or how much money I had, or how many times I traveled, or what I experienced. Well, I'm here to tell you that none of those things, sorry to bear the news, but none of those things have anything to do with happiness. Zero, nothing. The happiness, all of the happiness, and I define happiness by being at peace with life, with myself, regardless of what's happening, regardless of what's going on, and regardless of what's not going on. Whatever is happening, whatever is not happening, I still am at peace. And that's how I describe happiness for me. Everybody's got a different definition because everybody is different. But for me, I've discovered that waiting for or expecting or wanting something to happen or wanting something to change, and then I'll be happy, or setting up or having more contacts, or having a broader radio show, or even having a television show or a radio show that blasts all over the world, broadcasts all over the world, then I'll be happy. Reaching 20 million people, then I'll be happy. And I'm here to tell you that none of that is true. This happiness, this contentment, this peace can only be found from within, is only found from within. But today, I wanted to focus on what I've noticed, and maybe you have too. You let me know. Again, the number to call in is area code 646-564-9619, area code 646-564-9619. Press number 1 if you want to speak with me live. But the topic today is something that just keeps on coming up. People are writing books about this topic all the time. The topic of discussion, this topic of discussion is constant. And quite frankly, the only reason why I used to suffer, and I mean suffer, be unhappy, anxious, just unrested. Is that a word, unrested? Unrest, in a state of unrest, in a state of dissatisfaction. I love when I make up my own words. In a state of dissatisfaction. The only reason why I'm in that state, hello? It's because of my thoughts. My thoughts were so powerful. My thoughts were able to take me out of a great mood. You know, I love those labels, great mood. You know, on Reality Spirituality Radio, we don't use labels because all labels subtract from happiness. Even if it's a good, it's bad, because you always have to have the counter, the flip coin of good and bad, happy, sad. So labels, I eliminate all labels. So back to feeling really good about the day and my life and woo-hoo-hoo, just skating and just skipping through the tulips, and then at another moment there would be more thoughts or something else that happened, and now I'm, woe is me, why? And I'm noticing that there's so much thought about thoughts and negative thinking and how to switch, change negative thinking, how to actually have something other than these negative thoughts. And I'm here to say, for me, paying attention to my negative thoughts and trying to switch them up. I remember I used to, that's a negative thought. Time to refocus. Time to, listen to this one, time to switch a negative thought with a positive, time to insert a positive here, focusing on the negative. You know what? Let me tell you something, audience. That is too much work for me, too much work, because this is the real deal. This is the truth. I'm going to read just a little, and I usually don't read on my show, and I'm reading from my book, my first book, Reality Spirituality, The Truth About Happiness, which quite frankly is going to be a collector's item because it was a limited edition. I'm not printing it out anymore. I'm really getting into my second book, which is going to be called Programmed for Unhappiness, and it's just going to just blast everybody out of the water, because this second book is going to be written without any references to the universe, without any references to spirit or source or any of that. It's going to be a real black and white book about how to, very simple, how to, and I really want to relate and get the message out to the masses, not just us in the spiritual community, not just us that are connected and know the difference between being conscious and unconscious. No, this second book is going to appeal to everybody. At least that's my intention. Whether it happens, who knows? But let me just go back to something that I wrote in my own book. And I didn't even remember that I wrote it until I was preparing for the show about thoughts. And one of the things, hold on a second, let me just get to the page. Here it is, thoughts. And I asked this question in Chapter 8, and the question is, are our thoughts the enemy? Because any time when I look at my thoughts and I look and I think that there's something wrong with my thoughts, I'm really resisting. I'm resisting the actual moment. I'm resisting a negative thought. If I get a negative thought and I don't like it, or I judge it, or I think it should be something different, that's just another way of resistance. So are our thoughts the enemy? No. The answer is no. Our thoughts are just that. They're just thoughts. It's only when we pay attention to them and we believe our thoughts and we put focus on our thoughts and our attention is on our negative thoughts, that's when we suffer. It's not the circumstances that are making us suffer. It's not what's happening to us that's making us suffer. It's our thoughts about what's happening to us that is making us suffer. Our runaway, all-consuming thoughts, they're not the truth. They're not the truth. They're not reality. They're just thoughts. And let me get really specific here, because I want to also I want to talk about another part in my book that says the law of thoughts arising. This is just the nature of us being human. Our thoughts arise and our thoughts disappear. It's the law of thoughts arising. They come and they go. They're different and they're the same. They're recycled and they're not. You know, if you're having thoughts about criticizing and feeling bad about you and judging and you don't have enough, or money is tight, or you're not making the contacts, or you wish you could live in another area, or live by yourself, or live with a roommate, or who knows what our thoughts are. But if you have those kind of thoughts, know that none of them have to do with reality. Nobody knows why or where our thoughts are coming from, but thoughts come and go on their own. And I think that the scientific studies is that we have 40,000 to 70,000 thoughts a day. So it's important to recognize that and know that, but to give our thoughts any importance or to give our thoughts any focus is the problem. And let me share. Let me just really get down to it. When is the last time? Okay, you ready for this? When is the last time that you thought, and you believed that the world was flat? That the earth was flat, not the world, that the earth was flat, that this planet was flat. Do you know that there was a time, I know I'm talking like you're 2 years old here, but there was a time when the population, when the world believed that the earth was flat, that actually thought that if they sailed on the seas, and give credit to those people that got in boats and started sailing, because quite frankly, everybody thought they were just going to fall off the earth. Remember reading about that? And remember, there was another before. Well, who are the people that invented the airplane? Oh gosh, here I am. Put on a history. Put on the hot seat. Now I put myself on the hot seat. Orville Wright. Orville and Wright, right? You know what I'm talking about, those two dudes that invented airplane flying. Wright and Orville, whoever they are, you know what I'm talking about. No, I wasn't really good at history. But before they invented the airplane and got off the ground for a few feet or a few yards or whatever it was, flight was impossible for man. Not to mention going to the moon. Now we have drones all in the sky or space travel all the way in Mars. We've landed on Mars. You know what else? I don't know why I'm yelling at you. I'm sorry to yell at you, audience. I just get really passionate about this. Hold on a second. Let me just take it down just a little bit. I was watching a documentary just yesterday. I love watching the History Channel or Nature Channel. I love watching those shows. And I was looking at a show that it was talking about how the earth was made and what scientists really thought and how old they first thought that the earth was. And they thought the earth was just a certain age. I think it was a couple billion years old, until there were actually scientists that went into different parts of the world. I think there was one in Mexico. There was one across in the deserts, in the Sahara deserts, excuse me, actually coming up and chipping at rock. And what they found were parts of meteors that have landed and crashed on Earth billions and billions and billions of years ago. And in these meteors, they found traces of water. Also, they found traces of amino acids. And I know this isn't a science class, a science show, but traces of amino acids, and supposedly amino acids are the beginning of life. And scientists used to think that the beginning of life was created right here or started right here on Earth, and now they're believing that, no, the beginning of life came from outer space on these meteors that crashed into Earth. And these meteors had amino acid on them, and that's how life started on Earth. So all of these things, and this is my point, all of these beliefs, I really love the first one about the world is flat. I really love that one. All of these beliefs that the world is flat back in the day, people, you couldn't convince anybody otherwise. But if I told you today, 2016, January 17, 2016, that the world is flat, it wouldn't even be a focus in your mind. It wouldn't even be a thought in your head. You'd either write me off as some kind of lunatic, which I actually take that as a compliment, thank you, and it would never be a focus. So this is coming back to today. The problem comes from believing your thoughts, and believing whatever it is. And let me tell you something. These thoughts that you're having, let me speak for myself. These thoughts that I'm having where not doing enough, not making enough money, not having enough contacts, things are just happening. I'm not doing enough. I have to make more contacts. It's happening too slow. It's because of my own laziness. All of those kind of thoughts come from a program. At birth, a program that your parents are programmed, my parents are programmed, society is programmed. Look out into the world. This programming of what is success, what is fame, what is power, all of these programs that quite frankly, when I was younger, I wanted to be popular. I wanted to be one of the cool kids in high school. I wanted to be popular. Why? Because it was a programming. So these thoughts that we're having that make us suffer, number one, they're a program. Number two, they're not real. They have nothing to do with the truth. They're basically saying to you, the world is flat. And we are believing that these thoughts are the truth. And that is the reason why we're suffering. It's giving any power to these thoughts that aren't even true. That's number one. Number two, oh my goodness, this is so important to understand. Your thoughts, all of them, the negative ones, the ones that don't make you feel good, the judgmental ones, the thoughts that think that something else should be happening, something else is supposed to be happening, all of those thoughts have nothing to do, and you underline that in your head while you're listening, have nothing to do with you, have nothing to do with you or your identity. Those thoughts, your thoughts, are not your identity. Number one, they're not real and they're not true. And number two, they're not your identity. Your thoughts are not the truth, and your thoughts are not your identity. Now, this is really, again, you can call in at area code 646-564-9619. Press the number 1 if you want to speak with me live, 646-564-9619. Press the number 1 to speak with me live. And so let's back it up. Number 1, I've determined and proved that the thoughts, and we're going to go right to my callers in a second, that the thoughts are not true. Number 2, just like the world is flat, that's not true, but believing these thoughts, we're programmed to believe. Number 2, the thoughts are not your identity. That's number 2. Now, when you really, really get that, believe that, lock that in with every cell of your body, and that is part of your foundation. And I'm not bragging or anything, but I definitely know that my negative thoughts are not true, and I know that my thoughts are not my identity. It didn't happen overnight, people. It didn't happen overnight, my dear audience. But I'm telling you right now that I know enough, and I've practiced long enough to not give any power to these thoughts. It's like, okay, they're in my head, but they're in my head at a whisper, a very, 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 because I'm not going to resist them. I'm not going to try to make them into something they're not. I'm not trying to change them. Oh, negative thoughts, I got to change them into positive thoughts. No, I'm not trying to do that. It's an acceptance of the thoughts, but it's like a small little breeze, a very quiet breeze. I can hardly hear these negative thoughts, and that comes from knowing the truth. Let me go to a couple of my callers here. You're live on Reality Spirituality, area code 415, prefix 758. You are live on Reality Spirituality. What's your first name?
Hi, it's Jessica, one of your regular callers.
Jessica, hi. Are you on speakerphone?
I'm on a headset. Are you getting an echo?
Just a little bit, but you know what? It's okay. Go ahead. I can hear you.
Okay, I lowered it a little bit.
Yeah, that's a lot better. That's a lot better.
I'll talk lower too. I wanted to
don't talk lower. No, don't talk lower. Scream at me. I love when you scream. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I wanted to report a success or just like a change that has happened over the last couple of weeks.
Please.
Yes. So I used to really, so the way that my life has been a lot of time spent on my own, a lot of time in my thoughts, a lot of time in nature, a lot of time with spirit, wandering around, the neighborhood, not working so much. Because I run my own business, but it hasn't been that busy. And this has been going on for years, and I have been really cranky about it for years, that why are you not putting my gifts to use? Why am I wandering around? Why am I wasting all this time? I'm bored, I'm frustrated, I'm restless, all this stuff. Now, what's happened over the last couple of weeks is I just don't care. This is like I am kind of enjoying that this is my life, that I just lay around. And I mean, it seems kind of weird that I'm in acceptance of this now, but I'd rather be in peace than be fighting it. But I lay around, I process things a lot, and I just feel like when it's time for me to be busy, or when Spirit wants me to be put to work, I will be. But right now, this is my life, so whatever. And then it also means that I don't, the other shift that I noticed is that I just don't feel the pressure to, I don't know if I feel like I still am motivated with my career, but I don't know. Most of the things I don't really care to do, so I just don't do. And
okay,
so
hold on a second.
I don't know if
Jessica.
this is like a bad spiral.
No. Hold on a second, Jessica, because I remember you called in, and I remember your last call very, very, I really remember it because you challenged. I love when you challenge me, and you challenged me because we really were talking about the energy and the energy of being satisfied versus the energy of being dissatisfied. And that's actually a real vibration, a vibration of dissatisfaction. And I remember talking to you about that, and I remember telling you very, very, very forcefully, like I do. My messages are very, very hard and strong. And I remember telling you that it's this vibration of dissatisfaction is the problem. It's not what you're doing or it's not what you're not doing. It's really being dissatisfied with whatever moment you find yourself in. That is the problem. Am I right? Do you remember that?
Well, that must have been the start of shaking me from, because we had to talk about expectations too, and that must have been...
Hold on a second. That might have been the start? let me get my ego out here for a second. Listen, honey, that was the shift. That was the start. And let me say 3 words that I never say 4 words. What?
It took a couple of weeks for something to happen because I was upset after that for a while.
I remember you were mad. I remember you were upset and you're a little testy and you're a little, which is great. Listen, it's okay. That's what I'm trying to say. If you're testy, if you're a little uncomfortable, if you're angry, whatever you are, be okay with it. Have a satisfaction about all of it without judging, because you were really tough. You were a tough cookie that day. But I'm not going to get off my perch of knowing what's true, because I've been through it. I've gone through it. And you don't think, and I remember telling you, you don't think that I used to wish and want, and why isn't this happening? Why isn't it moving faster? And I'm telling you, the energy, the vibration of being satisfied with whatever this life looks like is the key to being content. See, you were programmed to think that, something else has to be happening. Why isn't it happening? I'm getting impatient. Why am I not putting my gifts to work? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm telling you right now, it's really that gift of having that energy, that vibration of satisfaction in every moment. Because if you're, and I'm going to go let you talk for just a second, but if you have an energy of dissatisfaction in this moment, you are going to have an energy of dissatisfaction in your future moment. That's a promise. So what you're talking about is this shift, is this change, and you're still doing the same thing. See, this is the key. You can still be doing the same things. Life can still be dealing you the same cards, but that shift comes from within, and that shift is being okay with whatever this life looks like. Am I right or am I right again?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things. One, as you were talking, I was remembering too that I was going through this period that I was very depressed, heavy energy. I remember you had said it too, and I think that was again everything coming to a head of me just finally surrendering, of like just exhausted from all the work things I was trying to control, manipulate. And I also understand the resistance that people had, the resistance that I had to finally release was that if I do, quote, nothing, if I become an acceptance of this life, and if I'm not happy with this life, then how is it ever going to get better? Because, again, that's what we're trained, to think, that we have to make a change, that we have to, but again, it was an internal shift for me that I needed to change. I didn't realize that.
Yes. Listen. No, but let me just, because this is really important. This is what you're saying is really important. I just want to underline it. It's really important, Jessica. Nothing has to change for your life, for your shift to happen, and for your life to change. Nothing external has to change. And what you said surrender, and I'm going to add this word also, which is huge, is acceptance. You said it earlier when you talked. You said, I accepted that, okay, I do, I'm sitting around, business might not be like I would like it. Listen, it's not like what you like anyway. It's what the universe wants. But I've accepted it, and you said whatever, or I say the word whatever, and that is the change. Acceptance and surrender. Acceptance and surrender. And I'm going to throw one more word, and that word is trust, that everything is happening in the correct order. My eyes, man-made eyes, my eyes will look and find fault with anything, but the universe finds fault with nothing. It's in order. Go ahead, Jessica. What you said was so important.
Well, that was the final point that I wanted to share, as far as that I came to this larger trusting in the universe that, hey, if I am going to get that success, achieve that success, have the success that I want, that I dream about, that this is up to God or the universe to do. So it's just for me, it was like more of just, hey, you guys have been taking care of everything from day one. I'm just stepping. It's like it's the cliche things that everyone always says, but when you're going through the process deeper, because I have released several layers, but for me, I think this was like one of the last, well, for now, the big layer of like, okay, I know that God has taken me through all these changes. I know I have a lot to offer. I know what the vision of my life is and how I'm going to get there. I've been trying to maneuver it all these years. God will make it happen. Or if he doesn't, then whatever. But I'm not putting out all this extra energy. It was exhausting all these years. So it's just whatever.
And that's a perfect word. Whatever is the word. Whatever happens is going to happen. And let me say this, because you said something that, and I also want to share that people that want to speak with me live, just press the number 1. The number to call in is 646-564-9619. And if you want to talk to me live, just press the number 1 on your phone. But you said something, Jessica, that was very, very troubling.
Oh, no.
No. Oh, yes, because listen, how else are we going to get to the truth? And how else are we going to get to this place where we want to experience this peace and this contentment, this internal peace, unless we talk about it? But it was very troubling, my dear, very troubling. And you used one word. Do you know what that word is?
No.
Yeah. You want to know?
Sure, go ahead.
But it's not a sure. I can feel you. It's yes, Rebecca. Please tell me the truth. Yes.
Oh, God.
I'll wait.
For this radio show.
What?
Yes, Rebecca. You make people jump through hoops.
Listen, I jump through hoops. If I have to jump through hoops, you have to jump through hoops.
I'm all about the easy route. I just told you, I'm all about surrender. If you want to share it, I'm down. If not, okay I'm in acceptance.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah.
Good one. Okay. This is the word. This is really a good word too. You said, if I'm going to be a success or success. I
just heard that actually before, yes, right, when or now.
Yeah, when, yes.
Right.
Listen, honey, listen, sister, listen. You are successful right now. See, that's the problem. This programming that I'm going to be successful when ... happens. It's a programming that is so debilitating and not true. What is success? Define success. Who's defining success? Man? Man defining success? Or does the universe, or do you look in the mirror and define success for yourself? And I'll tell you what success is for me. Success is being at peace with regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. That is success. Feeling at peace with myself and the world, regardless of what happens and regardless of what doesn't happen. Because quite frankly, just at the beginning of this radio show, there were so many technical difficulties. I had to call in to the studio 3 times. There was dead air for 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Who cares? Success is being at peace with the world and with self. That's success.
Well, okay. So
go ahead.
Well, I have an additional thing to that, and I'll tell you the reason why. Part of and this is, of course, it has the programming in there, but I have my own reasons for it, and I'll tell you. So. Wait.
It has programming in there. If it has programming in there, it needs to be discarded. Programming needs.
I know, but you have to. So listen to what the explanation is, and then what we could hear your come back there. So the thing is that for me, part of success is about making money. And for me, that initially sounds like programming stuff, but for me, it's about a mastery over one's life. Success for me is about having mastery over all areas of one's life. And for many years, I have been living in this illusion that I don't know how to make money, that I can't make money, that it's some kind of confusing thing or whatever. And I have been healing that and breaking out of that of like, no, this is just like manifesting anything else. So for me, it's about having the mastery over, creating money, bringing in money with my business. So that's the other part of that. And that's why I guess it's still sort of like a when I'm successful, or I'm right at the edge of it, but it's still until it connects. So it's that kind of in-between state.
Okay, I have one word.
Mm-hmm.
That was my word.
Well, I think it's fair. Maybe it's you don't have anything to say to that one.
No. I do. No. Meaning I'm just disregarding everything you said. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I make myself laugh. Listen, I'm only saying is because of this. And if you know me, you know that it doesn't matter. It's just my personality to joke. But especially when things are supposedly so serious out there. Listen, you said it. You said, I know this is a programming. Well, if you know that and I'm just going to throw all of it out. You know if it's a programming, then the programming is off. All programming, every single program is designed to create unhappiness. Every single one.
The mastery over money is not programming, though. The programming is when people say money, I want to, achieve money, attain money. That's the programming.
Well, I disagree. Because this having money with this idea of being successful with money. What if? Okay, I'm going to ask you a question, and I don't want you to answer. Just wanted to sit on it. What if for the rest of your life, until you breathe your last breath, you just made the same amount of money you're making today? So you're going to look back and you're going to be dissatisfied in the program and and you said something about mastery of your life. No, it's mastery of self. It's not mastery of money. It's not mastery of what you're doing. It's mastery of self, mastery of knowing really who you are and what's important. And money, you know what? Let me tell you something. This is such a deep program, especially in this Western world. You go to a third world country and where people are really fishing to eat, and they don't have nobody's printed money out. They exchange properties, I guess, to property or they exchange and they barter, and they actually have to hunt for their food. And you go into that culture, and you have $500 in your hand, and you look at them and you say, hey, this is valuable, this paper is valuable, then they're going to look at you like you're some kind of nut. The value, and I get what you're saying about manifesting money, and that's another program. Because if the universe wants you to have millions and millions of dollars, you're going to have it. Program, no program, you're going to have it. But this problem where, in my opinion, where people think that they can control, and I can visualize, and I can manifest this, and then if it's not manifesting and it's not coming, now you feel bad about it. Well, what am I doing wrong? That's not surrendering, because if you're supposed to have millions and millions and millions of dollars, you'll have it. And if you're not, you're not. The key is to master how you feel about who you are in this moment. And I've given up. If I'm supposed to have millions of dollars, now in the back of my mind, I really think, okay, come on, when's it coming? But I know reality. If I'm supposed to have it, because the universe asked me this question. Hey, Rebecca, what if you just have this little radio show, 10 people hear it, 10 people hear it in a year, 20 people hear it in a year. Are you still going to be happy? What if you have, having money does not mean success. It's a program. I'm telling you with all my heart, trust me. And you can disagree, and that'll be fine, but it does have nothing to do with success. It's a program. This money is got everybody into this state of, if you don't have it, you're not feeling good, or you're not feeling like you're not mastered it. Master your whole life? No, just master self. Hello?
Well, I hear what you say. I don't totally agree with everything that you're saying, but I think that it's difficult for somebody to have a conversation with you because there's always this challenging and this I'm right, you're wrong type of thing. And
okay, let me hold on a second. Let me get there. Hold on a second. Let me go dial it all the way back. You are absolutely right. I do have this thing about knowing my truth. You're absolutely right. But I am never, ever going to say that anybody else is wrong for them. I promise you. Let me put my right hand up. You're absolutely right. And in my real life, on the radio, I feel like I've got to be really passionate about it. But in my real life, if I met you on the street, my dear, everything that you said, I would, because your opinion and your truth is just as valid as mine. Let me just say that. I really do mean that. I'm just sharing
I'm not criticizing you. You're showing me a good reflection of me, because I get in that mode also, and I think that it's not fair to other people to have their experience. And so it's just a reflection of me, of being like, okay, I want to kind of tailor back when I'm doing my teachings that it's kind of, I don't know how to look at it, but it's kind of like you got to let the other people win or be on their journey or something. I don't know. I have to process it, but it's not. I see how I get into that zone as well. So, it's the whole mirror thing. But so thank you for that. I'm not criticizing you for it. I just am seeing myself in that, and I see what it does, because then the person doesn't want to say anything back.
Well, let me just say this. One of the things about this happiness journey and this being in this state of, in my real life, if you met me one-on-one, because this formula for happiness, this formula for contentment, can only have one person in it, and it's only me. And in your life, it's only going to be you. There's only room for one person in the formula. I am responsible for my happiness, and that is totally that's the truth. No one else is responsible. And I definitely have a sense of what I know is the truth for me because of my experiences, and because, quite frankly, I was there and thinking and saying the same things that you were saying. Not to say that you are, quote, right or wrong, but I'm just saying I relate to it, and I was really strong with that because, of course, society, having money equals success. And I'm telling you, if that was the truth, there are so many people out there, so much evidence that money has nothing to do with success, and money has to the masses, of course, and money has nothing to do with how content you are going to feel. Because and that's why I work on being content with nothing. Being content with nothing, because when I have or I don't have, I still have my contentment, and I still have my peace. So it's you can take.
Agree with that. I mean, that would be another example, because a lot of people have money, like low consciousness having to do with money, like wealth consciousness issues. So, I mean, this would be like a thing that you would compare it to, like, health. Someone might say, well, if you're successful, then you have good health. And that's another thing that I believe is true. And actually, I guess you can put that out to you as far as, do you believe that's true? And if it is, well, you might say it's not.
No, it's
Let's
not.
hear what you say.
No,
right,
I don't believe.
okay.
No, I don't believe having health means success. No, I don't believe that either. The success for me is mastering self in all aspects, mastering self in knowing what's a program and knowing what's not. And quite frankly, this is what real success is to me. I am here. This is my purpose. This is what I believe. Me, not anybody else. I am here to be the example of the universe, to be a human example of the universe. And what does that mean? That means no judgments. That means all acceptance. That means always flowing, no resisting, and to place value on what the universe places value on. And I'm using man-made terms, value, and the word is not even, I need a word even more than that. To place importance and value on what the universe values, not what man values, what the universe values. And that is my purpose. And so with that, I've had to be put through the ringer, dragged through, back and forth, tortured, if you will, more than once. I mean, I always say, what is this, a crucifixion list? Jesus was crucified once. I'm crucified every day of the week. And I use that term in a light way, but it's still the same meaning. It's the struggle. It's the truth. And why is to come to another place of expansion, of, I don't want to say enlightenment, but of awareness, a deeper sense of consciousness. That's success to me. to get to another place of consciousness where, no, money isn't it, health isn't it, title isn't it, of course, looks isn't it, weight isn't it, where I live isn't it, what I'm doing isn't it. Success is getting to a deeper place of consciousness and being and knowing and being at one with the universe. That's where I'm coming from. That's success to me. Now, everybody else can disagree, and that's good, but this is where I'm coming from. And it is very, very, I'm using a label, but it's so difficult that I buckle plenty of times. Mm-hmm. It's not easy, but guess what? I would never change it. If the universe hey, $500 million, Rebecca, and you are not going to be any more conscious than you are today. No, thank you. $500 million, Rebecca, and we're going to let your health be, like it was at 20 years old. No, thank you. No, I want more consciousness. I want more of what the universe has to offer. I want that. Don't give me anything that man thinks is important. Give me what the universe is.
Why don't you think that the universe thinks that health is important? I mean, and learning to be because to have peace, internal peace, has nothing to do with health. I mean, I've looked at some videos online. There's been some people that are they're on their deathbeds. Even my father, went through 2 months of hospice, kicked out of hospice, and then a year and a half of living after that. And he was not, quote unquote, healthy, but he was so at peace and content with the world. It's a crapshoot. It can't be any more. Health is not more important than my consciousness. I think it's all equally the same. I think it's all like you can have it all. I live that philosophy, like you can have it all. So for me, it's about like being in full power in all areas of my life, to be successful in my career, to be successful in my personal relationships, to be successful with my family, and whatever that might look like. I mean, obviously, I feel like I'm successful in my family. We don't look like Leave It to Beaver or anything like that, but I'm successful because I was able to break the chains of patterns that were going on in my family. So I look at that as success. I'm also able to be around my family members without having triggers going off. That was like this past year and a half that I had to clear. So I look at that as a success. So I look at it as like all areas of my life of being on top of my game. And again, how I define that.
Right.
So
and
it's about being in my power.
Yes.
And I can have peace throughout it. I'm not fighting it anymore. Because I said, hey, whatever it is, whatever I do every day, that's fine. Whatever I'm guided to.
Let me say this. Let me just say this, because we're getting toward the end of the show, but let me say this because this is really important. This word success is a man-made word. It's a man-made label. It's a programmed word. It's a programmed word. And what you're talking about with your family, it sounds like it was a shift in consciousness. When you started the call, you said you had a shift, and it's a shift in consciousness. And that's what I'm talking about as far as what's important. It's the consciousness that's important. It's the consciousness. It's really the connecting with the universe. And I get it. And where you are is perfect for where you are. And I totally, listen, you know me. You know me. Where you are is perfect. That's even a chapter in my first book. Your opinion is my opinion. It's perfect. but I'm just a little bit different. I'm just a little quirkier. I'm just a little bit more. I'm just different. And like I say, we're all as different as our fingerprints. And I'm just a different thinker, or different. I don't want to say thinker. No, that's not a good word. I'm just a different entity. I'm a different energy. I'm a different energy. That's all I'm saying. And we're all different energies. So
yeah, but you're also separating yourself from society. I mean, I think that consciousness, going up the levels, or expanding in consciousness, is important to a lot of people. And that can be looked at as a programmed word too. It's just not mainstream, programmed. But that's definitely programmed in the spiritual world.
Hey, Jessica.
All the spiritual people. Mm-hmm.
Hey, Jessica, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, it was a good chat. Yeah, it was a good chat. And, thank you for pointing out what you did and the mirroring stuff, because you gave me some things to think about and journal about. So I appreciate that.
Good. Well, I appreciate you, and I appreciate any time you call in. And, my audience, whether it's 500 people, 5,000 people, 10 people, anybody that listens to the call will, listen to this, will not get anything out of it. I'm okay. Right?
I understand.
Will not get anything out of it. And that's what this life is about. It's really about the experience without the judgment. It's an experience without having a judgment. And all judgments have to have a label. And if I'm talking a label, their labels are man-made, if there's a label, it's going to be something else happening with that label. Because if you talk success, then you're also going to have to talk not success. So I'm just not into the labels. I'm not into any judging. I'm actually not into anything human, quite frankly. I don't even like this human thing. No, I'm not going to even say I don't like it. Of course I'm human, but no, I gravitate to more of being an entity more than a human person. I remember my son would say, well, Mom, you're human. It's just natural. Well, I don't want to be human, okay? I'm putting it out there. I'm not human. I don't want to be human. And with all of that said, I want to share with my audience, thank you all for listening today. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday at 7 a.m. Woo! What a great show. My website is RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington.com. You can email me at info@RebeccaNorrington.com. Follow me on Twitter at RLNorrington. And if you've enjoyed the show, or if you haven't enjoyed the show, go to Reality Spirituality's Facebook page and like Reality Spirituality. I've been told that I do think I'm right, and I've gotten that when I was unconscious, and I'm getting it when I'm conscious, and there you go. And it really always comes down to, what do I think about me? And you too, audience, whatever you think about you, let your opinion be the only opinion that matters. Let your opinion be the only one that matters, and I really want to stress that. And if you are comfortable, and if you are flowing, and if you feel at ease, and if you feel relaxed and free, these are the words, relaxed and free and easy with everything that you are saying and doing and thinking, I am a fan. Trust me, because I am a fan of anyone that is at peace and relaxed and content. I know that in my life, when I don't feel content or at ease, there is something that I need to shift. There is something that I need to look at. There is a light that I need to shine on whatever is going on. I call it going into the corners and getting out the cobwebs, because the shift always comes from within. Never. I mean, there could be a shift from on the outside, but those shifts are temporary. The shifts that I'm talking about, the shifts that I just oh my God, just get a Jones for, just get so excited about, are those internal shifts that make me, that force my eyes to see something that they didn't recognize before. that just forces me to look at the same situation with different eyes. So that's what this show is about. What a great show. I want to remind you that you are a physical being with this, but your consciousness, that's who you are. You are really consciousness in a physical body. You're always changing, you're always growing, you're always looking, you're always searching, you're always seeking. I love that. Keep looking, keep searching, keep wanting to know answers. Keep, as my father would say, keep on keeping on. You cannot have a happy journey to an unhappy, what? You cannot have a happy ending to an unhappy journey. Thank you all for listening. You've been listening to Reality Spirituality. Talk to you again next week. Have a great week. Love you, Jessica.
Oh, it's time to get real. Oh, yeah. It's a new experience. Reality Spirituality. Yeah, keep your ears open for this one now. Reality Spirituality. You got a question for RLN? Reality Spirituality. Yeah, it's time to get some answers, baby. Reality Spirituality. Now we get.
Hello, did you have a question?
Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, how you doing? Can you hear me?
Yes?
No, I just wanted to say that was a beautiful show. It was unbelievable. I highly appreciated it. I don't know if you remember me. I called you last week. My name is Matt from Brooklyn.
Oh, hey, Matt from Brooklyn. Hi.
How you doing? An unbelievable show. Really pearls of wisdom. I listen to you every week. I'm a very big fan. It's unbelievable.
Aw, thank you so much, Matt. We'll call in again next week, and let's talk about something that's going on in your life that you want to, maybe want to chat about. You know how I do it. But I really appreciate your words. I really do. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate it. And with that, we're going to end the show, everybody. We will talk to you next week. Reality Spirituality is heard every Sunday. Have a great week. Oh, wait, Matt. Oops. I was going to ask him what football games he's rooting for today. Oop, he hung up. Ending the episode for real, audience. Bye.